can make a deal right here, right now.
Sorry, we don't negotiate.
Hi, I'm Negan.
De sterke seizoensfinale van The Walking Dead, maandag om 10:30 bij Fox.
Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So there are all kinds of F-bombs being dropped. We just got our first peek at Negan. This is actually like an international promo that supposedly leaked early, I don't know, whatever. It's Jeffrey Dean Morgan as the Negan character. One of the few advantages to having international shows is that when they drop promos, you get different footage depending which part of the world the promo dropped in. So if you've never read the comic, you have no idea who the Negan character is. He's just one of the biggest characters that the comic book has ever introduced. He's like the Ubermensch of villains. When Robert Kirkman introduced him in issue 100 of the comic, he said that it was meant to be this big sign to the fans that there was still all kinds of crazy stories, lots of stuff coming down the road. Usually by the time a new interesting comic gets to issue 100, it feels a little burnt out. Robert Kirkman was like, hell no, we still have plenty of awesome stuff coming. So he introduced Negan as a way to tell people that. Let's just look at the footage in the promo though. It seems like there's going to be some sort of cliffhanger, and Scott Gimple, the showrunner, has said that they're going to be very faithful to the comic. So if you want to run out and read what ends up happening when Negan first appears, you can pick up volume 17, Something to Fear. That picks up right around where the Dwight stuff happened from last week's episode. What I think might be happening is that because there's a rumor that they're going to end on a cliffhanger, they might end on the stuff that happens during issue 100. So be careful for spoilers. Please don't post spoilers in the comics because it is going to be an awesome episode of TV, meaning that I think season 7 will largely do volume 18 of the comic. So if you want to read volume 17 this week while you get ready for the finale next week, then you can read volume 8 after the finale just to get ready for season 7, because they are sticking pretty close to the comics. They do change a lot of things. I know a lot of people are wondering who's going to die next. Just remember that there are some people on the show that are alive now that died a long time ago in the comics. So just when it comes to deaths, it's really hard to predict who they're going to kill next. But usually when they do kill people, they do it in the way that it happened in the comics. So let's talk about Negan a little bit. He's being played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan, which just sounds so awesome. Most of you will probably recognize him as the comedian from Watchmen. Also a very messed up, sadistic character. But he also played Bruce Wayne's dad during the flashback in Batman v Superman with Lauren Cohan playing Martha Wayne. So if you go see Batman v Superman this weekend, you can see Negan married to Maggie, which I think is hilarious. In the comics, we all know Negan is the leader of the Saviors, but before the apocalypse, this is actually really funny, he was a used car salesman, so that should give you an idea for some of his personality. Of course, the worst human being on the planet used to be a car salesman. You have no idea how bad you're going to feel about yourself when you laugh at what he says. He is genuinely funny. He's a used car salesman, so he is a master at slinging bullshit. He'll just go on long speeches and lead you along and then just tell you that he was messing with you the whole time. You never really know what his character is doing, and he is super charismatic. I mean, look at Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Of course he's charismatic, but the Negan character was always written that way. So if you have any friends who quit the show, now is the time to tell them to sit their ass in front of their TV and prepare for Negan. There are a lot of people that quit the show when Shane was killed off. I think that they'll come back for Negan. And the cool thing about this is that Negan is just the beginning. There's so much more. They've been teasing that this season. You're part of a bigger world now. So there are even more big comic book characters that I think that we'll see in season 7. But please use spoiler tags if you have read ahead in the comics and you want to talk about them. So let me know in the comments, do you think they're going to use the issue 100 WTF with Negan as a cliffhanger for next season? I feel like that's what they've been talking about. Gimple has been like, we're going to be very faithful to the comic. There's going to be a big WTF cliffhanger. It will tell the world that they need to be watching Walking Dead. I feel like there's really only like 1 or 2 things they could do, but they might swap out some of the characters that end up being a part of that. Like I said, Walking Dead does do moments ripped right off the comic book page, but sometimes it'll swap comic book characters in and out for whatever that scene ends up being. So I'll post my episode 15 video after it airs tomorrow. Be sure to subscribe to get that. There'll be a new round of the giveaway. I'm working on a new Game of Thrones video. There's a whole bunch of other stuff. There's still some Batman v Superman stuff that I want to do, but some of that might end up rolling into Monday just because there's so much stuff happening right now between Walking Dead, Batman v Superman, and Game of Thrones. In case you guys didn't see it yesterday, there was new Game of Thrones footage that dropped. You can click here for my breakdown of that, and you can click here for my Batman v Superman Easter eggs. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.